God's way in you is the way of God in everyone. And because God showed man that every way that he walks in this world, he knows not that it is God that giveth everything to man in all the experiences that man has on earth. And these experiences that God has given unto you reflect the way in which God says to you, these are all the ways in which the range of possibilities of God exists within the world. And when man did not understand what God taught him, it was because he did not way to know how God exists, and how God exists as the all in all, or all possibilities that exist, that always exist, that will always exist. To wear the crown of God meant to walk the way of God. And to walk the way of God is to experience the many multidimensional ways in which God exists, and which God exists as everything that exists. We have given to you the sacred secrets of creation, that you may teach it to the children of God. For all the children of God are lost in this world, because they lost the sacred and divine ways of the Father and the Mother God that were given from the Son, which is a higher world. In creating this lower world, God did not show it man how it was done, neither did God share with man how anything came into being. But we give unto you these ways that you may teach them, that the children of God may come to the full knowledge and consciousness of why they exist and why everything else in the world exists. For all things that came from ether, unseen by man, cannot yet be known to man, are those things that manifest to man in a way in which God exists as all that there is. For in all things God showed man that he came forth as a blob, and then he became manifest in a seen form. And in that way, God wanted man to recognize that all of creation came forth in that way too. And in seeing how he came forth, he would have known that it first began in an unseen way, and then it was manifested in a seen way, and then it came forth as that which was always noticeable by man in the manifestation of it. And so things began in a liquid form, and the liquid form took the way of a solid form, and the solid form came forth as the seen things. Teaching these things to our children must give them the way to know why it is that they could never remember the things that were taught to them. And they couldn't remember these things because God did not share it with them when they walked from light into darkness. Earth, water, and air. These three divine elements constitute the way in which all things are created. Earth is the way that all things are solid, and water is the way in which all things are liquid. And air is that unseen that interact with that which is water and earth, that bring forth all things. So you see, when man did not understand why he procreated in the way he did, and came forth in the way in which he did, he did not understand the way in which God kept showing man. That is the way the creation in the divine order of all things began. We have said to you that these mysteries could not have been known to men, because God did not give it to be known to mankind. So that in all the ways that it remains mysterious to man, it is the way that God kept showing man that he lives in the dark and know not how. For everything that you see in this world works and came forth from the same three divine elements, manifested in the same seen and divine ways. and no man understands them. There's a higher principle that God teaches you that will be taught to the children of God, that water is liquid earth. Water is liquid earth. But these things have not yet been known to man, for he hasn't understood that his own design constitutes every design that exists outside of him, and that in designing man in all the ways that God has designed man, God wanted man to recognize that he works in the way in which the world in which he lives works, so that his own being constitutes the way in which the whole world exists as his being as well. And so man walks in this world never understanding that his relationship with the world is a direct consequence of what he does to the world. And what he does to the world is what the world gives back to man. And these things we kept showing man over and over again. What you give to the world is what the world gives to you. And because man did not understand these things, he had no way of knowing why his world is in turmoil, why he is in turmoil, and why he suffers in every way that he came and left, without even recognizing that he is all that the world is. The world is all that he is, because it is through the world that he experiences his being, because he is manifested in the world that manifested itself as its being unto man. And so we give you the way to start teaching and preaching and letting the children of God know the way in which they began in creation and the way in which creation began in them. The reason that they do not look like the rest of the tribes on earth is because they came from a higher world, and that higher world is the world of sun. And the sun energizes earth. So when they came here and brought the sun, they brought the energizing life force of the sun to earth. And so that energizing life force that you see as the sun, that we call the light of the world, is all that which enables the earth to show everyone the things that they could not have seen had not this light come to them. And so we give you this way, that in every way that you begin to teach and preach, so will the gospel of truth be known, and the children of God will come to the full consciousness of God, and they will know the way that God is within you. Everything that we have given to you, we have shown you that we have given to mankind. We have given it to this world. And we wanted man to wait and to wait and to wait, and to know that his only trust is the God within him, not man as God. Because no man can play God, no man can be God, no man will ever be God, except man comes to the true consciousness of how he came into being, and how that which is of himself is how that is within all the world. We continue to bless you, we continue to guide you, we continue to give you the way to go forward. And in every tribulations and trials that we have given unto you and to you, we just wanted you to know that God always tests man. In all the many ways God wanted man to know that his only salvation is God. And God is always the only salvation. For the word God represents all things that are over everything, mightier than anything. And so you will teach them these things, that they may come to know you and come to know God in you and come to know God within themselves.